My name's Derek Webster, a company called Anget. We're a boutique consultancy. We work with investment funds, governments, do site search, country selection, and work on data center strategy for enterprise rollout. We're still in the server hugger era. I think that grip is beginning to loosen because what you're seeing now is the economics of scale are driving that change. So, and you're also getting those younger guys getting older guys moving into board roles and senior management roles who have a much more greener outlook will also help drive that change. But what you're also seeing now is there's an economic benefit now. If you look at the European market, there's no difference between green costs and fossil fuel costs. So go for green costs. There's nothing to stop you doing that. In the US market, NAM market, there's a differentiation in that power price. But provinces like Quebec have a high amount of spare capacity. Some of the cheapest power in NAM, in fact, some of the cheapest power on the globe. What they need to do more is actually to push the envelope of what the value proposition is. I think we also underestimate that when you put fibre into a location, it makes it easier to move the workload. Final point is the ICT kit. That's where most of the energy is actually used. We know how to make clean, green, cheap builds. We're building them in the wrong place. ICT kit is where the real change really needs to come. And there is a benefit too. The European Commission last month announced a directive that will come live in March 2020 where you have to reduce the idle time of your servers by 10%. That means 46 terawatt hours saved. That's Cyprus saved on one small bit of legislation to gain a 10% piece of increase. Yes, I think so. This server hugger era and the colo era of colos build to attract a mass market. So they're trying to attract clients they haven't cut a actual deal with. So even they're more efficient than the enterprise guys who are in the most least efficient sites. Part of that move from enterprise to cloud to colo can be the energy story. It can be how does an enterprise reduce its carbon count by moving to scale. I honestly think there's an 80-20 rule where probably 80% of the applications and services could be done in more efficient sites, in a more efficient way. If you look at the UK, for instance, virtually every co-location in the UK pays a slight additional tariff for only using green fuel. And that's not by law, that's by choice. So some of this is, and that isn't law, that is a choice that the colos of the UK have actually made. We may not have the cheapest energy cost in the UK, but the point is there's that market will to make that change, and the colos buy into that.
But if they've got an
Most people inside the engineering industry know that a server can work at a much higher temperature than it is now. And there are huge amounts to be saved by moving that set point up. But there's still that resistance to change. So I did some work for an investment fund and it was blank sheet of paper. What would I do if I was investing in a new cloud? And I said, you as an investment fund, go into the market with just an SLA. I would not build to an ASHRAE standard. I would not build to an uptime standard. I would build to an operational SLA need where all the rules are broken because we all know where the engineering limits are. The energy reduction was staggeringly different. So you're using the network layer to move the workload around in infrastructure that was very, very thin. And that's so in that piece of work that I did, it was basically around what if you went to market with an SLA and say, we're a big investor backer, we can support our digital infrastructure, you're signing an SLA, we take care of the infrastructure and the resilience is in the network and the multi-sites. So that does answer your question in a more future look in terms of perhaps how the market should be moving.